Welcome. In this video, we're going to go through items, set up your first item, show you how to edit them, because items are really the basis and the foundation of marginSHARK. So when you first log in, you're going to come to your dashboard like this. It's pretty bare, and that's because there's no data yet, and there can't be any data until we create some items. I think it'll make more sense after we create a couple here. So let's go to Manage off the menu, go to Items. That takes you to your item list, which again is really bare. Super powerful tool when you have a bunch. You can sort, filter, search, but until then, let's go up here to New Item. Click on that. It's going to take you to the new item creation form. Really quick and easy. There's only a couple of fields that are required. Those are the ones with the asterisks. You can mouse over the names and it'll give you a description to help you out. I think once you do one or two items, you're going to be flying and never look back. But the key thing here is, again, you only have to do the required fields. You can come back, edit, change. Super flexible system. We designed it that way. And the first thing you need to know about items is any item can be purchased, it can be made, it can be transacted. There's not raw material that you convert to finished goods. That we chose not to go that route because there's a lot of times where you need to sell something that's a raw material because a customer needs it for a service item. You end up spending a lot of time managing parts for no value. So we took on all that complexity, built it into the system to make it easier for you. And again, you just need to worry about items. You can do anything you want with them. There are two categories or subtypes of items. First is a part, the other is labor. So we're not going to be tracking labor like a resource planning. We're going to be able to see usage and whatnot. But we want to be able to put labor on the bill of materials so we can help drive down our costs, know where our costs are coming from, and hopefully make some more money. So the first one, let's just do a part. The item number, you can put in numbers, you can put in text, doesn't matter. You can change it later. If you had a previous item, you'll see it here. That just helps you create your new one if you're going sequentially. The plan cost is required. And really that's your accounting cost. It's what you believe should go into your financial statement. If this is an existing part and you're bringing it into marginSHARK, you should have a rough idea what it is. It's going to go down over time using marginSHARK. But if it's an engineering stage item and you're making an estimate, it's still really handy because now you're going to be able to see what your BOM costs based on your estimate, start putting in vendor pricing, see what your costs are. And every time you buy or build an item, you get the chance to update your plan costs so you know real time what everything's costing. Revision, unlike, again, a lot of complex systems, we're not going to dictate how you need to do revision. We trust you do that. This text is going to go against every buy, every build, every transaction, so you know what you shipped or built when, and you have that history. You don't have to put it in. In this case, I'll just put in A1. Next up is description. This is just going to be what, normal system stuff that tells you what the item is. In this case, we'll just call it a spoked wheel. This is a part. The categories here, you can pick. You don't have to use it, but it helps with reporting. So finished good is something that you're going to ship. Subassembly is something you're most likely going to build. Packaging, it's unbelievable how much money you spend on packaging. Custom item is something you designed or is proprietary to you, more likely to buy. And off the shelf is an item that is somebody else's part that you're going to buy most likely. But again, the nice thing on marginSHARK, and you'll see this once we get into the item pages, is you can buy and build any item, and you can do it in a multitude of ways, all with the goal of reducing your cost. Unit of measure, again, complex systems, they're going to dictate what those are or try to guess, and then you run into these situations where you can't do what you want to do. So we found it easier just to allow you to do anything. You can put in each, like I did here, hour, pounds, 6-pack, make up your own, whatever it is. You can always change it later. The reorder point, this is in the setup because we want to be notified if our available inventory drops below a certain number or not. So here you can just turn it off. It defaults on, but we want to be notified when, again, our available inventory drops below our reorder point quantity. That defaults at 0. Let's move it to 10. And we'll see here in a little bit how this feature works. The last two fields are just kind of text fields that help you track your parts. If you have a UPC code or a barcode, it makes it easy to match up to your sales systems, as well as an ASIN number if you're selling on Amazon. Again, I'll just make up some. If you're going to import your sales data using Amazon, you do need an ASIN number. And then lastly, we have our notes field. And this is just a text field you can delete and change at any time, but it's intended to be information that you're going to use when you buy or build the item. So in this case, let's say going to change rev in July. Pretty good information if you're going to be buying this in June so that you don't overbuy, end up in a situation where you might have to scrap. Again, you don't have to use the note, but a good chance to keep that information in front of you. So we're going to go ahead and hit submit. And it brings you to this page here, which is the item page. Tons of really good information. Go through that in a later video because this page is going to help you reduce your costs, make more money. But you can see that we have our description, all of our information is put in. If we want to edit this part, simple as this, the text that's live is in there. Let's say we just mag wheel instead of spoke, we can change that. Hit submit, and you can tell it's already changed. In fact, we can see when the item was created and when it was edited. And if we go back to our item list, we see we now have an item in here. So before we go much further, let's go ahead and create a labor item. Again, we'll go to Manage, Items, New Item. And let's just right off the bat go type labor, which shuts off a lot of this. I'm going to go ahead and put in assembly labor. I like to put in labor in the title just because it makes it easy on the reports. Again, the unit of measure is up to you. I'll go ahead and say this is $15 per hour. We could change it to minute, second, day, week, whatever you want, or per item. Again, this just gets applied to the bill of material. So we designed it to be flexible for work as your business works, not ours. I don't need a revision, and I'll put in a description of general assembly. Don't really need a note for this. We'll just hit submit. The item page for labor is simplified because, again, a lot of that information will go later. It doesn't apply to a labor item, so we just keep it simple. And we come back here to our manage items. Now we have the wheel we created and our assembly labor. You can see we have none in inventory. Everything looks to be set up well. You can see the power of the search. And what we're going to do is start building out all of our items so that we can create our first build, go through the item page, learn how we track our costs, set things up. We'll do that in a subsequent video. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or want to create an account for your business, just go to marginSHARK.com. Thank you.